Hey, Conan O'Brien here. I'm currently on a tour across the country, 18 cities with lots of different stand-ups. We're having a blast. This is not my first time though. I have toured before. It was 2010, and just going down memory lane here, this is the actual map of the tour that I took, the route we took. I really had conceived the route to spell out God's will. I thought that would be a really cool thing if it spelled out God's will across the country. Of course, once we booked it, it failed to do that. It just became what looks sort of like a hawk attacking the back of a dog that's smoking a cigarette. So, not quite what I was going for. That wasn't impressive. We did a lot of cities. Here I am. This is Spokane, Washington. I did a show and then I told everybody to meet me outside at this piece of sculpture. Giant wagon, red wagon. I said, everyone meet me at the red wagon, and they did. And it became this sort of a happening, which turned into an orgy. And I did not get lucky, unbelievably. I was the center of an orgy that I had helped create, and not one person touched me. For a brief period of time, I was a country western guy named Slim Chester Shucks. I had the beard, I had this very red beard, and I just thought, yeah, a cowboy look would go well with this, so I had someone get me the clothes. I think my wife at the time saw a photo of me as Slim Chester and just was not having it. She was at home with two very young children, two babies. Suddenly she gets a photo from Slim Chester Shucks. So she divorced Slim Chester Shucks, let's put it that way. This is me out on stage at Bonnaroo. That's amazing. That's a lot of people, scantily clad, none of whom have showered in 2 weeks. That I remember about Bonnaroo. Because at the end of my show, I would go into the audience with a guitar. And I remember going into the crowd and everybody just hugging me. It was dudes and ladies. Nobody was wearing very much. Everybody stank to high heaven. I played the Palms at Las Vegas. There was my name up in lights in Las Vegas, which I just thought, like, I don't really feel like a Vegas guy. I'm certainly not a Vegas performer. But I just thought, I remember thinking, I gotta get a picture of this. This is amazing. This may never happen again. Since then, I'm a regular in Vegas with Carrot Top. We have an act we do together where I saw him in half and then I don't put him back together again. This is the lead up to the tour. We did rehearsals in this giant space in the valley. It's a giant rehearsal space in the valley, huge, mammoth space. And we were trying to figure out what this show was. Really, when we put it together so quickly. I remember being in this giant space and there was hardly anyone there. There was a couple of my writers, Mike Sweeney and a couple of other writers and Jeff Ross sitting maybe 50 feet away from me. And I'd do something that I thought was kind of funny and then you'd hear nothing. And you'd feel like, oh my God, this idea is terrible. And then later on you'd find out, well, no, they were laughing, but I just couldn't hear them. Here's a writer, Matt O'Brien. I was about to say used to beat him up, but I'm realizing now I still do. Just attack him regularly. But I'd see him and I'd just start attacking him. And it was just an obsession of mine, because I grew up in a big family, a lot of brothers, and we would fight each other all the time, kind of from play fighting. So this was a really fun shot of me backstage. I was always backstage fighting Matt O'Brien. Here I am again. I'm wearing I must have been in Edmonton or something. I'm in Canada. I'm wearing an Oilers shirt, and I'm backstage, and I'm again fighting Matt O'Brien. I sort of look like Conor McGregor in this shot, if Conor McGregor had leukemia. I was walking around somewhere, I think Vancouver, and I bought myself a Greek fisherman's cap. I found an eye patch, and I put that on, and then I got myself an old sea captain's pipe. So I wore that for a while, and this is a man who needs a beating. That's all I can say, is this guy. This is a man who needs serious medication and a beating simultaneously. It's very rare that a doctor will prescribe both medication and a beating. but that's exactly what this guy needs. Oh, and this is the sparkly suit that I wore. I did a country western number, I think. So I had a sparkly suit, sort of a country western suit that I still have, and then I wanted to look like Eddie Murphy in one of his stand-up comedy specials, so I got a leather suit that would accentuate my lack of muscle tone, which it did perfectly. Oh my God, the bat. I forgot about the bat. We thought the show should have something really big at the end, and we had heard, I think we wanted a giant inflatable animal of some kind. We wanted to have kind of an Ozzy Osbourne feel, and I think we heard that he had like a giant inflatable bat or something, so we found the equivalent. We inflated it at the end of the show for no reason, just pure idiocy, and it was really fun. It would rise up slowly. It was not very dramatic. It didn't shoot up like we thought it would. It would slowly come to life, and it was very anticlimactic. But I'm really glad that we did that. So there you have it. Those are great memories. Some of them shocking and sad, but for the most part, sweet memories of my first big tour, 2010. Good times.